All right. Welcome, everybody. Just giving it another minute or two so that we have the time for others to come and take the class that, are looking to get their yoga on. If you haven't taken my class, my name is Julia. It's really weird to say because it's nice to meet you. Like, it truly is. But, like, if I know who is in here, then go ahead and comment so that I can officially say hello to you. um, but in the meantime, if you are coming in from the 6 p.m. class, the props that you brought, we're still going to incorporate it into the 7 p.m. section. And then for those who are chiming in and making their way here, um, the props that we will need will be 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, that's fine. One will be fine. It's just two is a little more beneficial for our practice. Grabbing a blanket, and you can grab like a little cushion if you need to, or possibly like a big pillow as well to create a bolster out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a few moments to collect your things. And it looks like others are still joining. So I'm going to go ahead to... Oh, Anna's strapped too. All right. And I will be right back. Really have to run to the restroom. So it gives you enough time to go ahead and set up your real estate and get grounded for a little bit. And I will be right back. Alrighty. Oh. Thank you patiently for waiting. And then for those who are coming into the class, I wrote in the comment section on the props that we are going to need for tonight's session. And to verbally say it in case this is already on the big screen: blanket, 2 blocks, strap, a little cushion, if possible, just anything to get you a little comfortable here. For starters, you can take, let's see. Okay, you can go ahead and keep 1 block by you and the blanket too. And then making sure that your other block is at the front of the mat here, and your blanket, or not your blanket, but your strap onto the right side of the mat. And so you can go ahead you can find a comfortable seated position onto your blanket, as well as placing a block underneath your sitting area. And in your seated position, you can go ahead and just have your shins, or kneeling as your sitting position. Your block is going to help prop you up. And in case you don't have a block at your house, you're more than welcome to use a cushion, possibly a thick book. So you still got those old college textbooks hanging around, those thick guys are perfect to use. So just some suggestions. But in case that you are joining this class and you haven't participated in the classes before, what we worked with this week is that we've been focusing in my segment of our classes, putting more depth into our props as we go through our yoga practices. This is a little bit on repeat for some of us who have been in the classes. So thank you for listening once more. That some of us wanted more of a workout for some of the yoga classes, at least for my section of the week, just because a lot of us have been sitting either at home or if we're really cramming in at work and we just want more energy to be brought into our practice to feel a little more strong with ourselves. So I brought that for my practices this week and mainly utilizing the props to work more in depth with our lower core and hips. Is one great way to get a burn than to work with our abs. And so for tonight's slow flow, we are essentially, I'm going to be working with a little bit of technique with our core, but just adding some workouts, just like a little bit, but the rest is going to be more restorative to ease your Thursday night. So as you find yourself into this comfortable kneel position, you go ahead and find a very minimal tailbone tuck. Start to erect at the spine and maybe start to find a little bit of that core engagement here, keeping our posture stable. And allowing our hands to just rest gently onto our thighs. Inhale, bringing our shoulders up towards our ears. And then exhale, rotate them back into our shoulder girdle. And if you, by chance, throughout this practice, possibly hear any banging or anything like that, that's probably my dog's attempt to get through the little barrier I made on the other side of my curtains. So apologies for that. He just wants to come and have some fun. But other than that, as we have our shoulders engaged and our chest lifted, finding that little core engagement, I'm going to start by taking our chin to our chest. Start to close your eyes and become rooted here onto your mat. Becoming deeper into your asana throughout your breath. And then for those who have been taking my classes this week, I've been focusing on the word strength. So for those who have participated in the 6 p.m. class, thank you so much again for coming to this class, as well as allowing myself to repeat for those who haven't joined. That for this week, we are having the term strength be resonated throughout our practice. Because strength isn't always something that is physical. It could be also a word that can describe our emotions or describe our actions on more of an emotional level. Strength can be present into our intellect. Strength can be found in our wills, our desires, in any sort of subject matter that we are participating ourselves in. And strength is very well alive into our spiritual sense, being very strong with your feelings towards your religion, towards your spiritual sector, and most importantly, the strength of your drive to maintain your health and inspiration in your religion and spirit, and your health and drive into your physical practice, your health and drive, most importantly, as well, into your mental state. And even in our weakest moments, is where we can find the most strength. So allow strength to guide you into your practice today. As we bring the palms out to the sides, we're going to inhale, rise. Gently guide your nose up towards the ceiling and meet your palms together. And then exhale, release. Bring the palms into the heart center. As you set an intention for your practice, whatever brought you here onto this mat. And then taking your hands onto your thighs, coming into some gentle spinal extensions. We're going to inhale, bring our chest forward, and then upwards towards the ceiling, the nose to follow in a sitting cow. And then exhale, rotate the shoulders back. Bring your chin to chest into your cat. And even when we rotate through the shoulders, we still want them away from the ears. And inhale, guiding your chest forward, nose up into your sitting cow. And then exhale into your cat. And go ahead and find your own breath and your own pace in these sitting cat cows, just allowing yourself to move with some grace tonight as we find that strength throughout our alignments here. And most importantly, finding strength in our will and in our conscious state of being aware of our alignment. So maybe allowing yourselves to challenge yourselves when it's present, or maybe bringing in some compassion and ease. If we maybe bring our body a little too far in some of the practices, it's okay to find the exploration, but be gentle enough to where it doesn't hurt your body or cause harm. And then after a few cat-cows, we're going to go ahead and bring our arms out to the T. Opening up through our chest, we're going to have the hands or the fingers flared. We're going to rotate our shoulders back and bring in our chest forward. As we inhale with our arms to the T, we're just going to guide our arms towards the back of the room. So we're getting this good chest opening here, keeping our arms straight out to the T. Feeling this warming sensation into our upper body, in towards our shoulders, our triceps. And through each inhale, we're going to find this extension through our spine towards the ceiling. And maybe on the exhales, getting a little deeper into our arms here towards the back of the room. And as we bring this awareness into our practice, you'll start to notice that after each exhale, that your arms are making its way a little more towards the back of the room. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths. Very softly, we're going to lower our right fingertips towards the ground. Inhale, rise. Left arm towards the ceiling. Guide the left ear to the left shoulder. Grab onto the right ear with your left hand and inhale. Just very gently guide the neck towards the left shoulder. At the same time, very gently press the fingers into the mat. We don't want this to be forcive because we could cause our neck to cramp or tense up if we press really hard into the mat, or possibly by guiding the left ear too aggressively towards the shoulder. So just making sure that we keep that good core stabilization to keep our spine straight and to be soft into our fingers of both our ear and onto the mat. Guide yourself here for 3 more breaths. To keep the sensation alive, keep your face into place and just gently guide the left hand to your left cheek. Inhale, you're going to gently push the face back into the center. And we're going to very slowly release the left arm. And then coming back into the T, rotate the shoulders back into the girdle and spread your arms out. And we're going to hold it here for 3 breaths. Just to go ahead and ignite that heat back into our arms, creating that opening back in towards our chest. Chest is forward, but our tailbone is rooted and we're strong in our spine. Wonderful. For the next breath, you know what to do from here. We're going to very gently guide our left fingertips towards the ground, bringing our right ear to right shoulder, and then rising up with our right arm, finding our left ear, and very gently guiding into this neck stretch. With the soft intention of our left fingers to the mat and our right fingers to the left ear. Finding this continuous lift throughout the chest and that very minimal tailbone tuck. Once you found that sweet spot, add 3 additional breaths. Allow your face to stay where it's at and just guide your right hand to your right cheek. And inhale and guide the face back into the center. And just take a couple breaths for your neck to refamiliarize itself in the neutral position. Yeah. Now inhale, bringing your arms up towards the ceiling, creating the Kali Mudra, the little gun. Shoulders are back, arms straight up towards the ceiling. Find the opening. Breathing alive into the chest and inhale, just side bend over towards the right side of the room for 3 breaths. You're keeping the chest forward, lengthening up through the spine as we bend. And inhale up. And then exhale 3 breaths over towards the left side of the room. Inhale, palms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale, release, coming into an all fours position. Good. And then bringing up both the blocks, keeping it to the front of the mat here. Good. Coming into all fours here, rotate the shoulders back and do it 3 sets of cat-cows, your own breath, your own pace. Chest out, tailbone up into cow. And then exhale, round through the shoulders, chin to chest into your cat. Good. And then having the blocks to the front of the mat, we're going to go ahead and bend the right knee in towards the chest. And then we're going to exhale, fire hydrant style. Hold it here for 3 breaths. Keeping the right foot flexed. Good. And then after those 3 breaths, go ahead and invite some rotations into the right hip socket. Go for about 3 to 4 rounds. And then after those few rounds, go ahead and reverse the rotation. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and open up even more inside of the right hip. And so from here, I would bring the blocks just about a couple inches in front of your fingers. Good. And we're going to go ahead and inhale, come back into the fire hydrant style, and then straighten the right leg up towards the side. Engaging through the quad. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths, nice and strong into the leg. And then after those 3 breaths, we're going to guide that right foot down, flattening through the foot. We want that flat structure here. So just for the camera's sake, I'm going to go to the long side of my mat. And then with the blocks that are in front of your fingers, you can use them as a prop if you need to, but you can extend your arms out forward as if you're in a downward facing dog with your upper body. Good. So chest is actively guiding towards the ground. Hands are either pressing into the mat or possibly into the blocks. And we're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. That brings it to a total to about 5 or 6. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk the hands in front of your hips. And then engage the core, rise up here. And from here, let's go ahead and straighten out more through the left leg. If it's not, keep the right foot flat to the ground. Inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling. And then essentially, we're going to reverse the side angle like we would a warrior. Bring in the left hand towards the right foot. Maybe guiding the right hand down or possibly behind the back. Eye gaze up, maybe. Wherever you're at, 3 more breaths. After the 3rd breath, we're going to inhale, rise. Arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to take the tailbone back. Engage the core. Bring your arms forward like you would in chair. Good. Then guide the hands down. And we're going to go ahead and walk back to the front of the mat. So our right leg now is back. So it's almost as if we are in a running lunge position, but our shin is on the ground. And we're just going to come here and find a stretch into the right hamstring. So gauge the right quad and inhale, root the right heel towards the mat. And you can use your hands as momentum to maybe guide that heel more down or towards the back of the room, whatever feels the most comfortable. Wherever you're at, we're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. Now for some soft core action, we're going to go ahead and come up onto into our tabletop, but bring the right leg up. We're going to bend the right knee and inhale, guide the right knee towards the elbow. And then exhale, straighten the back leg. Inhale, guide the knee to the elbow. Exhale, back. And do it 3 more times for a total of 5. This is just a gentle way to get a little core action while finding some room into our hamstrings to stretch. Then after you've done your 5, what we're going to do is we're going to bend the right knee, and we're going to guide that right knee behind our left. So we're kind of going into those Gomukhasana legs. So if you have a block or possibly a cushion nearby, you can take a block and you can bring it towards your back here so that when you gently walk yourself back to come into these Gomukhasana legs, so move so that the camera can see. One knee is going to be on top of each other, and we're going to place the block underneath our hips for a little bit more support if you need it here. Otherwise, if you have your blanket and you have a lot of dead space or open space here, you can fold the blanket and kind of mend it into that space. And then also just keeping the knee up if that's most comfortable is okay too. Just giving as many options as I can here. And as we are in the Gomukhasana legs, we're going to go ahead and just very gently, keeping ourselves onto that block, we're just going to walk our hands forward into a bit of a hip hinge so we could take our forearms possibly to the floor. And I know that not everybody may have the same flexibility, so just having your arms out straight is okay. If you feel like you need more height, if you have a tight spine, if you have that additional block, you can take your block and bring it up forward to keep your spine a little straight and find that natural curve and to have your arms supported by it. So we're going to have that active hug with the hips here. Feet are alongside of each other. Wherever you're at, stay here for 3 more breaths. Let's add 2 more to make it 5. I think 5 will be better. And then after the 5, you can very gently release, coming out of that hip hinge here, staying with our Gomukhasana legs. Your strap should be nearby, so you can go ahead and grab a strap. And if you don't have a strap, a waist belt will be fine, or maybe a scarf. If you have exercise jump rope, I use that for a few of my videos, so you can go ahead and grab one of those. But you can go ahead and with the strap, we're going to go ahead and find the middle of it. And we're going to go ahead and extend the strap so that our chest is straight again. And just for 3 breaths, we're going to inhale, rise, bringing the strap above our head, warming up through our arms, getting the chest opening, and just essentially sending that alert to our upper body that we're coming for it. Let's add 2 more. I like the number 5 today. Let's go ahead and do 5 instead. And after you've done your 5, you can go ahead and bring the strap diagonally so the left knee is on top. So the strap is going to go over our right shoulder down, where the diagonal is going to go down towards our left hand. So for this Gomukhasana, we're going to go ahead and with our right hand, pat ourselves onto the back with the upper arm is straight up, grabbing onto the strap. The left arm, the thumb is going to be pointed down, the back of the palm towards the back of the room. And then scoop underneath the grab onto the strap and straighten out your spine here. And for some of us, we may be able to hinge through our hands, but that could cause a hinge into the spine. And really, we want to have that straight spine for these healthy hips. And just to create some tension, grabbing onto the strap and very gently pulling it away. Not putting a whole lot of force into it so that we can maintain healthy shoulders here. Before an additional guide, you can take your forearm of your right hand and you can guide the forearm behind your head, pressing your head into your forearm at the same time your forearm into your head. This allows us to keep our spine nice and erect, alleviating pressure off of our hips, and we're not hinging here. So you get more out of your practice if you just keep your hands onto your strap, no matter if you could touch your fingers and you find that bend into your spine. It's going to be easier if we just maintain that little bit of distance. 3 more breaths. Wonderful. After the 3 breaths, take a deep inhale through the nose. And then as we exhale, release, don't just let go of the strap. Just very gently allow the strap, in a sense, to let go of you. To just kind of have it very softly leave your hands and very softly bring your arms out of that stretch. Because that way you can feel all the blood rush kind of escape through those words areas. And if you move too fast, you don't get to feel your body saying things. So go ahead and just kind of shake it out through your wrists. Bring the right fingertips to the ground. Inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling. Do a little side bend towards the right side. Flat palm for 3 breaths. Inhale, rise both arms towards the ceiling. Flatten the left palm down and inhale. Side bend for 3 breaths to the left side. Good. Inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release. Very gently coming out of your Gomukhasana or cow face legs. Walking your hands forward. Good. And then just coming back into those all 4 positions. And shake it out as organically as you can, not super fast or rigorous, just an expression, as in, maybe find some hip sways, maybe some cat cows, whatever feels the best for you to feel like you are reset from this. Maybe even windshield wipes coming onto your toes, onto the floor. This is one of my favorites. It feels like I'm like in a little squat frog dancing here. So if that feels good for you, go ahead. But as you feel reset, I would grab that block that was underneath your sitting area and return it to the front of the mat here. Got to keep the strap onto the side for when we need it. And we're going to return into those all four positions here. And this time we're going to work through the left side. So as we come here, go ahead and bend the left knee in towards the chest. And then exhale, fire hydrant style. I'll turn so the camera can see. And as you hold yourself into this fire hydrant style for 3 breaths, you may go ahead and find some rotation into your hip. Keeping the left foot flexed, and go ahead and possibly do 3 to 4 rounds. And then after those 3 to 4 rounds, just go ahead and reverse the rotation. Good. After that, we're going to go ahead and straighten out through the right, leg, or the left leg, excuse me, and hold it up for 3 breaths. Left foot is flexed. Right. And then after those 3 breaths, you can very gently guide the left foot down. And then if you need to accompany those 2 blocks, you can place it in front. And we're just going to come into a hip hinge here, bringing the arms down, chest towards the ground. Left foot is flat onto the mat. Tailbone up. 5 breaths. After the 5 breaths, slowly inhale, halfway lifts. Engage the core, bring your arms up like you would in chair. And come all the way up on top of your right shin. Slide the left hand down, you know what to do. Inhale, rise it through the right arm and side bend over towards the left side of the room. Rooting through the knee, arm up, 3 breaths. Eye gaze possibly up at the thumb. And then inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling. Engage the core in the hip hinge. Bring your arms forward for 3 breaths, like you would in chair. Good. And then very gently place the hands down. Straighten the left leg and bring it towards the back of the room. As the leg is towards the back of the room, root through the toes to the ground. And then we're coming into that hamstring stretch, rooting through the ankle. And you can guide your hands to help get more to the hamstring. Hug the hips, hug the kneecap up. 3 breaths. After the 3 breaths, we're going to straighten out through the left leg, bend the knee, and then 5 times we're going to inhale, bring the left knee up to the left elbow and extend it out. Total of 5. Getting a very easy and soft workout here. And then once you have done your 5, you can then bend at the left knee and then bring the left knee behind the right leg. So now for a Gomukhasana, our right leg is on top. Go ahead and grab that block and send it back to go ahead and sit onto the block with your Gomukhasana legs. And I'm going to stay at this angle so that you can see what's happening into the back of my spine for this round. But if you would like, again, if you have open space, maybe fold a blanket or a cushion inside. Other than that, the blanket will be comfortable underneath your knees. If you like that instead. Good. But before we go into the Gomukhasana strap, we're here now. I'm going to come into a forward fold, lifting up through the chest, bringing the arms up, and exhale, hip hinge, forward fold for 5 breaths. So if you need to maybe use the other block for your height, you can go ahead and do that here. Encouraging you to send your chest forward so that you don't have a huge arch into your spine. Now then after those 5 breaths, inhale, halfway lift. Slowly walk yourself back towards your hips. Send your arms up towards the ceiling again. Then we're going to lower the right hand. And then inhale, laterally stretch over towards the right side of the room. Lifting up through the chest, setting the arm towards the back of the room. For 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, rise. Other arm towards the ceiling, lower the left, and inhale, laterally stretch over towards the left side of the room. Good. And then inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling, and then exhale, slowly release. We're going to grab the strap again, and we're going to do that one arm warm up, where we're going to find the center of the strap and extend the strap out to the T. The shoulders are going to be rotated into the girdle here. Engage the core, keep your spine straight, and inhale. Pull the strap up above your crown. Good. Nice and tight for 5 reps. Right, keep the chest open. Close the pencil behind your, in between your scapulas. Good. Right, as you very slowly release. This time the diagonal is going to go where the strap is above the left shoulder and going down towards the right. Now go ahead and face the back just so that we can see the action with the strap this time. So with my left hand, I'm going to rise up and pat myself onto the back where my lower upper arm is facing forward as straight as I can. Up, grabbing hold onto the strap. Right arm to the T, flip the thumb down, palm facing back, grabbing onto the right strap. Good. So we're going to guide the right hand up towards the strap, the left hand down towards the right hand. And we're going to pull the strap just very slightly apart, lift up through the chest, possibly guiding the forearm behind the head, pressing the left forearm into the head at the same time the head into the forearm to straighten out through your spine, and maybe encourage you to walk a little closer to your hands. But if you start to feel any pinching or anything that's a little comfortable into your arm or to your shoulder sockets, just lay off the strap a little bit and create more distance between your fingers. Wherever you're at, do 3 more breaths. Final breath, inhale through the nose. Exhale, very gently release. Just slowly letting go of the strap. Good. And then very gently releasing throughout the arms, feeling the blood rush with your arms. And then just for good measure, since you already see my spine for your future practices. I'm going to move the strap onto the opposite arm here. For a picturesque sense of what I meant before is in my Gomukhasana on my opposite side. Sure, if I kind of lift up through the chest here, I could possibly grab my fingers. But there was a point where I was able to touch my fingers and I still had a good rounding into the spine, kind of making myself hinge forward. And that could greatly hurt your lower arm as it kind of torques into the shoulder. So it's more important to allow your ego to reside in the strap and to straighten out through your spine and have a little bit of space in between so that we can have our healthy anatomy here. So just in case if any of you needed a visual sense of that. So since we're done here, we're going to just gently come off of our block. Good. Bring our block back forward. Unravel through the legs and whatever you can organically do to reset yourself with your hips. Maybe with your spine. I'll take 3 to 5 breaths of your own personal time on your mat here. And then after you have had a few breaths, go ahead and grab the blanket and align it to the spine. Where the spine and where your sacrum will be. If you have like a very a thin enough cushion where it's not going to push your head high up, you go ahead and have a cushion to align with your natural curve of your neck. Little pillow here, make it more restorative. You go ahead and grab the blocks, keep them near, and have the strap near too. So find your way onto your spine, make it nice and comfortable with the blanket. You're more than welcome to invite a cushion for your head if you would like. Good. And then from here, good. I'm going to go ahead and grab a block here. Or actually instead, no block. I'm going to go ahead and grab the strap instead. Okay. So with our strap here, we're just going to hold it into our hands. Good. And then place the strap around our ankle. And we're going to engage the core, bring the tailbone towards the ground. We're going to inhale, rise, coming into an inverted staff pose. So quads are going to be engaged, toes are going to be engaged. And we're going to hold onto the strap. So for some of us that may need a little cushion in between the thighs, if it's uncomfortable for your knees or anything like that, you go ahead and bring a block for some stability here. We're going to find the quad engagement, and we're going to press the strap in towards the ankle bones and gently guide the thighs towards the chest. Okay. We're just going to stay here for 5 breaths. And then for the 5 breaths, we're going to guide the legs closer to our body and our hands close to our feet, as if we're kind of going into an inverted Paschimottanasana. So with your hands, go ahead and guide them close to your feet here. If you can grab onto your feet, that's good. But if you can't, just grab as close as you can to the strap, where your hips are still onto the ground here, straightening out through the legs. And we're going to inhale, press the ankle into the strap and guide your chest forward. And we're going to stay wherever you are at for 3 breaths, guiding your tailbone towards the ground. So if your lower spine leaves the mat, like that's fine. Just slowly guiding the tailbone down, the knees towards your chest. 5 breaths. After 5 breaths, we're going to very slowly release, come into the inverted staff pose. And if you have a block, you can remove it from your legs. And just allow the strap to be into your right ankle. And then extend the left leg all the way onto the mat here. So we're going to press the right ankle into the strap, press it in, and hold your breath for 5 breaths. As we release the breath, we're going to release the tension, but guide the leg even closer towards your body. One more time, 30%. Press the ankle into the strap. Hold your breath for 5 breaths. And then as we exhale, release the tension. Guide the leg closer towards your chest. Good. We're going to bring the strap into the right hand. Left hand can stay on the left hip. Encourage it to stay down here. The straight leg. We're going to inhale, guide the right leg towards the right side of the room, opening up. We don't want the left hip crease to leave the mat. So if you need to have a block or a cushion underneath the thigh, you're more than welcome to go ahead and bring that to your practice. Whenever you find your comfortable spot, take 5 breaths. After the 5th breath, inhale, rise, bring the leg up towards the sky, bring the right arm to the T. Very gently tuck the left hip underneath the right hip. You're going to guide that leg all the way towards the left side of the room. I gaze over the right shoulder for 5 breaths. We want to make sure that both shoulders are onto the ground here. And after those 5 breaths, inhale, rise, bringing that leg back up towards the ceiling. And then bring the left leg back into that staff pose. And we're going to find this pose for 5 breaths. Keeping the sacrum rooted, the lower spine rooted. If there's a bowling ball in your stomach, we're being fully rooted into our spine. And then you could go ahead after the 5 breaths, release the right leg and extend it flexed towards the front of the room. And then as we are here in this posture, we're going to go ahead and put 30% effort into the strap, as in pushing our ankle in, and hold it for 5 breaths, or 5 seconds, I should say. Yeah, exhale, release. Guide the leg closer towards your chest. I'm going to do that one more time. Inhale, press the ankle 30% into the strap. Hold your breath for 5 seconds. And then exhale, release the pressure. And guide the leg closer towards your chest. Take the strap into the left hand. Right hand stays on the right hip, guide it down. And then inhale, open up the left leg towards the left side of the room. I actually want to get this stretch in, so I'm adjusting myself up here. You can put a block underneath your thigh if needed, but wherever you're at, 5 breaths. After the 5th breath, inhale, rise. Bring the left leg towards the ceiling. Right hand strap, left arm to the teeth. Very gently, we're going to tuck the right hip underneath the left, and then guide the left leg towards the right side of the room, making sure that both shoulders are on the ground. Eye gaze over the left shoulder. 5 breaths. After those 5 breaths, inhale, rise, straight leg up towards the ceiling. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and release the left foot from the strap. Coming near the end of class here, so you can go ahead, hug the knees in, rock side to side. And then grab to the outer edges of the feet. Bring your knees in and come into happy baby pose. And you can stay here in your happy baby pose. If you wanted to, you can hook onto the toes and come into wide legs here. Tailbone rooted. Both options are good. Wherever you're at, add 5 breaths. After the 5 breaths, guide the legs back up towards the ceiling here. Point the toes towards the ceiling, arms towards the back of the room. Take the deep inhale, press your feet together, and bring them all the way to the front of the mat. Final stretch here, deep inhale through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. And you can go ahead and allow yourself wherever comfortable for the next few moments here in your Shavasana. And then as we are lying here in our Shavasana, I wanted to read a quote that resonated with this week's practices by Louise Edrick from The Painted Drum. That life will break you, that nobody can protect you from that, and living alone won't either, for solitude will also break you with its yearning. You have to love, and you have to feel. It is the reason you are here on earth, that you are here to risk your heart, and you are here to be swallowed up. And when it happens that you are broken, betrayed, left, or hurt, or death brushes near, let yourself sit by an apple tree and listen to the apples falling all around you in heaps, wasting their sweetness. Tell yourself you tasted as many as you could. So as we begin to find these micro movements from our toes and our ankles, our fingers and our wrists, if you would like to stay in your Shavasana, you are more than welcome to stay on your spine. But for those who would like to carry on for their night, you can inhale, stretch your arms above your head and start to bend your knees in towards your chest. And letting it out with the cleansing sound. And you can guide your knees to the side with your upper body and very gently guide yourself into a comfortable seated position. And then you can gently meet your palms into the heart center, and you can go ahead and take a bow to yourself and to all of our other climber friends who we miss dearly for being able to share this time and space with us today, whether it be behind a virtual screen or just the essence of their presence. And to wish health and peace for the rest of your night. And namaste. Well, thank you all so much for attending to the 7 p.m. class. And if you are here for the 6 p.m. class, well, just thanks for hanging on out and getting more into your practice tonight. Please feel free, and I type it each time because it could be confusing to spell. Both my Instagram and my email account, which is a Gmail, is Climbing Santosha. So if you have any questions, comments, if you have any requests for any future practices, please feel free to get a hold of me on either platform, because that way what you are itching to learn in class or to feel in your body, I am able to go ahead and present that wish for you. Other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of your night, and thank you so much for participating in Adventure Rocks fitness classes. I will see you next week, but please feel free to enjoy the rest of the yoga instructors and the fitness instructors for their classes. See you later. Good night, everybody.